India has seen the fastest growth in the startup economy in the past few years, which shows like Shark Tank India has truly inspired numerous entrepreneurs. Earlier, education was the only way for middle class people to come out of the middle class trap. Now it has been taken away by startups. And the people who feel most inspired from this journey are the people in their 20s. While we glorify the beauty of starting a startup and entrepreneurship, there's still one facet that we are still not talking about, that 90% of startups will fail. In this video, I'm going to discuss that why startups fail, why you shouldn't start a startup at all in your 20s, and third, I'm going to discuss what is the final solution to this problem. Now, if you're in your 20s and you're planning to start a startup, in no ways I'm trying to discourage you, but I think you deserve to know the truth. Because we only talk about unicorns and positive examples in media, we sometimes not talk about the actual reality of starting a startup. And even learning that why startups fail can really help you in your journey. So you can avoid those mistakes and carefully decide whether you would like to pursue this path. So let's get started. So startups are meant to solve a problem, but you'll be surprised the majority of startups fail is because of that reason. According to CB analysis, 42% startups fail because they're solving the wrong problem. They're solving a problem which isn't actually a problem. And that is the biggest reason why startups fail. Either the problem isn't that big, or either the customers don't perceive this problem as big to pay for it. And if customers aren't paying for it, it isn't really a business. Number two, 29% startups fail because they run out of cash. So funding, either it could be insufficient funding or there could be poor management of cash flow, that leads to 29% of startups failing. Now, there are two reasons why this can happen. Either it could be because of overestimation of revenue, or either it could be unexpected expenses. Either ways, if startups aren't able to do their financial projections right, then most likely this can be a reason why they fail. 23% of startups fail because they don't have the right team. Startups come across problems on a daily basis, and a founder cannot solve all these problems by themselves. The only reason why startups exceed is because of having a good team with good skill sets. Although it isn't mentioned in the statistics, but I also believe that good leadership is also as important as the right team. Because if good leaders aren't able to encourage their teams the right way by figuring out what really matters to them, or if they aren't able to show the right vision, then also it can be discouraging for the team. I thought this is going to be one of the biggest reasons, but 19% of startups fail because of strong competition. There are many big players out there who can instantly copy your idea. They have all the resources, the money, the team. So this is why it is important to scale a startup as fast as possible and acquire customers as quickly as possible, because if your bigger players, find out that your idea is working or has the potential to work, then they can easily copy that idea. 18% of startups fail because of pricing and cost issues. Either they overestimate their pricing or either they underestimate their pricing, and that again leads to bad cash flow management. As cash flow is the blood and oxygen to a business, if pricing and cost is not estimated correctly, it can lead to a lot of loss. Moreover, in the beginning, if there is a tech startup, they usually provide free services or free access to their users, that they don't quickly figure out how to make money and keep their users to keep paying and keep coming back, that could lead to a big trouble for the startup. 17% of startups fail because of poor business model. I've actually seen Ashneer in Shark Tank bringing this out again and again, where he says that what's the whole point of your dhanda? If you're not making cash, then how this is a business? It is okay to solve a problem, but you have to define whether you are a charity or whether you are a for-profit organization. And if you're not making money, your business model is not clear, then how you going to make cash? And if you're not making cash, is it really a business? 14% businesses fail because of ineffective marketing. Either they aren't targeting the right target audience, or either they're targeting the right target audience with the wrong message. Marketing is another major reason how startups can scale and grow quickly. So if their marketing strategies aren't in place, then that could also lead to their failure. The other reasons are ignoring customer feedback, lawsuits, and product misalignment, if their product isn't really solving the problem they thought that it is solving. Now let's talk about why you shouldn't start or even think about starting a startup in your 20s. Although there are many examples of people who have started their startups in their 20s, but odds are 99% against you. And let me explain that through data. According to a study published by Harvard Business Review, the average age of a successful founder is 45 in US. According to a similar study in India, that age is 39. Regardless, there are very few people, and very, very rarely you'll find people who have started a successful startup in their 20s. Even if you look at the success probability, entrepreneurs who are above the age of 50, 2.2 times more likely to be successful in terms of their probability of success than an entrepreneur even at the age of 30. Now, there are many reasons why starting a startup in your 20s is probably not a good idea. Number one reason is lack of experience and industry insights. If you don't have deep knowledge of an industry, or if you don't have access to someone who have that deep industry knowledge, it is really hard to be successful in that endeavor. And yes, there are many examples where that industry knowledge wasn't necessary, but still there were, some ways to have access to people who had that industry knowledge. It could be through networking, it could be through collaborations, it could be by knowing the right people at the right time. And this is not possible. Majority of 20 years old who are born in a place or born in a background where they don't really have access to those entrepreneurs or that network. So odds are very against you because of lack of experience, lack of industry insights, and most importantly, that network. Even if you look at the example of Falguni Nair from Nykaa, when she was asked how come she was so successful in her first startup, and that too when she started it at the age of 50, she said her investment banking experience really helped her in finding the right collaborations, partnerships, and has played a significant role in her growth of her startup, which she was able to succeed in the first go. The other major reason why you're bound to more likely fail in your 20s, because probably if you don't come from a rich background, you don't have access to any cash flow for your day-to-day expenses. And in that case, if you're splitting your energy into your startup and into doing a job, then it's really hard to stay focused and actually do something. Moreover, a lot of entrepreneurs or investors won't even invest into your idea if you're not working full-time in your startup. And that is why some of the startups don't get any funding when the entrepreneur is actually doing a job or has some other commitment with regards to their finances. When you're older, that is less likely to happen because you're more likely to be financially stable with all the incomes and savings and investments that you have done in decades. Now, what is the solution to this? In no way I want to be called a dream killer. If you are in your 20s, you're passionate, you have seen a market cap, you have access to the right team and the right attitude, and you believe strongly that you can do it, and you want to say, Priya, you're absolutely wrong and I would prove you wrong by doing the startup in my 20s, then honestly, I would be the happiest. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is so that some of the other 20 years old who feel bad that they haven't done anything in their lives or haven't achieved anything in their life just because they're not doing a startup, I want to tell you that it's absolutely fine. There's a lot that needs to be done before you get into that position. Now, here are the solutions to this problem on how can you get ready to start a startup. Number one is choosing an industry and gaining deep knowledge in that industry. If you really truly understand each and every bits of that industry, that's truly going to help you a lot. And sometimes your curiosity grows because you're facing that problem and you have started learning about it, and then you figure out, okay, I can solve this problem because there's a market gap. Either ways, there has to be either curiosity, or either ways there has to be deep industry knowledge of working in that industry that truly helps you. So if you're interested in fintech, maybe working in a fintech company or a startup, or working in a marketing company can really give you that advantage which others don't have because they don't have that industry experience. This will also allow you to network with the right-minded people in that industry who can truly be probably your co-founders in the future. Building the skill set and experience can really help you also to gain funding, because investors will truly trust your idea more if you have that industry experience in comparison to someone who's in their 20s with no experience at all. There are many things and factors like finding the right idea, finding the right solution with financial projections, gaining knowledge. All of that requires a team, and for that you need funding, and for that funding you need investors who will probably trust you more if they know that you have that kind of confidence, or if you have achieved something in your life that will help you achieve that. Meanwhile, you can collaborate with other startup founders or maybe work with them, learn from their experiences, build that kind of network, do personal development, and come back with a bang, ready to start your own startup where you have identified the problem you want to solve and you're way more confident now to get started. I would again highlight that in no way I'm trying to discourage you from starting your own startup. If you've got an idea, then go for it, and I'll be more happy. And honestly, we need more startups for our economy, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But it's important to be realistic in life as well, and to know what can you do in the future and how can you plan your future in a way that increases your likelihood of success. If you like this video, then click on that subscribe button, and if you don't like this video, then let me know in the comment section what can I do to improve. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. This is Priya signing off.